to other things that seem so pointless yet are oh so important still on a day like this. More lies from Daniel Andrews. Millions of people have been put into a curfew because of Chairman Dan. A curfew that, remember, he said was based off health advice.
Following that detailed advice, I've made a number of decisions and I want to run through those for you. From 8 p.m. tonight, a curfew will be implemented.
But that was a lie. You know that because the Chief Medical Officer has said so.
Has the government ever introduced something without your advice or against your advice?
No, not against my advice. You know, the curfew came in as part of the state of disaster, for example. It wasn't a state of emergency requirement. So, you know, that was something that was introduced, but it wasn't something that I was against from a public health perspective.
But were you consulted on it or not?
Yeah, I was consulted on it, but it was a separate decision-making pathway.
For God's sake. And then, of course, Daniel Andrews lied because he then said it was all about the police.
Health advice, limit movement, righto? Police then say, these are hard rules to enforce. We reckon there's a bunch of people that are out and they shouldn't be out. Give us the clearest, simplest set of rules you can. And a curfew that says, unless you've got a lawful reason to be outside after 8, soon 9 p.m, out to 5 a.m, then you can't be, is much easier for Victoria Police.
But this too is apparently a lie, because it wasn't the police who wanted the curfew.
Were police consulted about the introduction of a curfew?
No.
Were you at no stage?
No. The reality is I was never consulted. I've made inquiries to determine if anyone within the organisation was briefed on the matter, and as best as I can work out, our policy area was provided a copy of the proposed guidelines for our information a couple of hours before they were signed off.
Lies. Literally one day after the other, and now supposedly the truth. It wasn't about the cops. It wasn't about the health. It was the captain's call. It was the chairman's order.
You've just said before that the government can make administrative decisions without the advice of the Chief Health Officer. How many other captain's calls have you made?
I wouldn't describe it in those terms. If you want to describe it that way, then that's entirely a matter for you.
It has been described as that. You said it was ultimately your decision yesterday. How many other calls have you made without the advice of the Chief Health Officer?
No. But see, this is not the thing. This is not the issue. The government reserves the right to make decisions to operationalise advice from the Chief Health Officer.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers in the right. Sadly, the people of Victoria are stuck in the middle with that bloke.